Hey everyone, welcome to season 2 of Unveiling Beauty. We are so excited after several weeks of being on hiatus to be back here with you. A whole new look and feel to the season, new great tips and tricks. If this is your first time tuning in, this show is all about tips and tricks for the beauty professional. It airs every Monday night with my co-host, Ammon Carver. Speaking of Ammon, how you doing today, Ammon?
Hey, what's up? Season 2, I can't believe it. This is awesome. It feels like a long time, but at the same time, it went really fast. Everything is just merging together. But I know, Nick, I share your excitement that we have got such a cool lineup of shows planned, and this season is just going to be awesome. And something that caught my eye that I thought would be particularly great for this first episode is really like a heartwarming story. And I want to make sure that I get it right because it's really hit. So I'm going to read a couple of notes here about this amazing man. He's a principal in Delaware, a principal at a school, and he was noticing that one of his students was feeling like disconnected from the rest of the kids. He's being made fun of because his parents apparently couldn't afford to give him a proper haircut. And so Principal Newton offered to give the student a haircut after, and after that, this kid's confidence just skyrocketed through the roof. Any of us who do hair, we've seen that happen. I can already see it right now. It makes me just like, I just love that about our industry. But he then goes on to go ahead and create, open like a barbershop in the school for his students, where he's like giving cuts to them on a regular basis and helping them with their confidence. And it's just turned into this like amazing, really inspiring story where he used something that he could do to help build the confidence of these kids. And I was like, that is exactly a perfect current event story that we can highlight. So Principal Newton, hats off to you, my friend. Thank you so much for just like doing what we all do and sharing that love. And I just thought, what a great way to kick off season 2. What a story, huh?
Yeah, like, that's such a great story. I love it that he's a principal and a barber all in one.
Yeah.
What a cool guy. I would love to meet this guy one day. Maybe we'll have to make that happen.
Maybe he'll see it and like want to be on our show.
You never know. You never know. And if you guys are joining the show today, make sure to engage with all of us. We want to hear all your comments. We want your questions as well. We have some amazing guests lined up for today. We want you guys to put everything in the chat. You might have an opportunity at the end of the show to hear how you can win a special prize as well.
Hey. So speaking of guests on the show today, right, Nick? So we, if you guys haven't been paying attention, which I hope you have, I will definitely not waste any more time introducing our 2 guests that we have on today. We have our very own pro team member, Danielle Keasling. And then we also have Jamal Edmonds, who's a celebrity hairstylist and artist from Mizani, joining us. Both amazing, and I want to welcome them both to the show right now. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you both.
Here.
You too.
Thank you guys for helping us launch season 2.
What was that, Danielle?
Like kicking off season 2. I love it.
Yeah.
We did a really great season 1. So I love that we're extending it, and I feel like we have a lot more to offer to the industry. So I love bringing on all these amazing artists and just joining forces.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. So we're talking all about fall trends today. So talk to me. What are you guys going to be sharing with everyone today?
Yeah, so I want to talk about a little bit. I'm always inspired by fashion, and I'm always inspired by Fashion Week and the runway. And unfortunately, with the situation that we have going on, we, don't get to go and indulge in so much Fashion Week. But I did a little research, and I do want to talk about like how can we take runway to reality. And we're still doing Zoom calls, but I think the world is opening up a little bit, and we have some places to go and some things to do. So I'm going to take a look from the runway that you could take into a day look and then transform into an evening look using accessories. So this is going to be a way to control the hair, create a nice, elegant, or deconstructed chignon that can then be transformed using accessories or using glitter or using any type of bands, and kind of creating like a little bit more of an edgy fashion editorial style.
Sounds awesome.
Awesome.
And I am going to share with you all the perfect ponytail. And so I think that ponytails are always on trend, no matter what season it is. You know, everyone likes a snatched pony. So I am going to talk to you especially about placement, how to get the ponytails really, really high and really tight. A few tricks and tips that I have in my arsenal that I use in a salon all the time to help everything stay in place. And then I'm also going to add some accessories, and I'm going to add some extension hair. So I'm super excited, and thank you guys for having me too. It's such an honor to be here with all of you amazing Ulta people.
Ulta people. Listen, Jamal, it is our honor. It is our honor to have you on the show. And we take being called Ulta people as a high compliment. So thank you for that. So while you two are working, and because I know that you're going to be busy with your hands and hair, and we'll be able to see what the details. I'm just going to ask, as you're working, why you think? I'll start with you, Danielle. Why do you think that what you're showing right now feels like particularly on trend for fall?
So, I think that right now everybody's trying to create some easier DIY styles. And, within the salon as well, these can be as pushed and editorial as you want them, or they can also be a great foundation to teach your clients how to do at home. So because everyone's a little bit more looking at safety and not wanting to leave as much and going in to get their hair done at the salon, these are things that you can teach your client how to easily do at home. And as you can see, I broke this down, and I always talk about hair mapping and controlling the hair. So I've basically divided out the front of this hair, pulled it to the side, and I created a ponytail from the very crown in the top to the bottom nape that's a little offset. So this entire top section and front section is going to come back as well to marry this, but a lot of the time our clients have a hard time controlling all of their hair, especially if it's very thick. So by breaking it down into two sections, the back and the front, they'll be able to get that nice, tight, sleek pony into a chignon. And then they will be able to have this veil of hair that we can secure into that pony, and we can pull out pieces around the front or as necessary as we need. So I'm just going to keep working in that.
Awesome. Well, now, Jamal, I'm going to toss it to you with a similar type of vibe. So you talked about that snatched pony, and I feel like that's definitely a fall trend or a trend of some sort. But you also spoke about how ponytails in general are always in fashion, always on trend, right? So elaborate a little bit about what you're doing and why it's particularly on trend for fall.
All right, so I'm going to swap my mannequins out because I have one that I've prepped, and I want to show you how I use it to create a really high ponytail. And so here, what I did is I normally section the crown of the head out, and that is kind of where I create my first pony. And then what I normally do is I take my blow dryer and I'll do some directional blow drying. And then I will snatch this hair on top of that. And so what happens is you're able to get it extremely high with using two ponies. I think that for me, this was something that I learned very, very quickly, very earlier on in my career, being able to put it or place it where I want it. And I think that's super important because we all know sometimes, it calls for a low, kind of sexy pony, but sometimes you want to have fun. And the girls always want a nice pony that's on top. Maybe you can wear it to the side, but I think that's a cool tip that you can use in salon, on set, or even editorial styling. And I want to show you this one. So basically I've done the same one with this mannequin. And as you can see, she's kind of snatched up really high. And what I also do is I use these strips. They're just white paper strips that you can use for molds and sets. And I actually take my hairspray, I spray it on a color brush, and then I would just basically make sure that all of the hairs are laid, and then I would wrap it with this. So this is a really, really cool way to keep everything in place and to keep it all kind of like snatched. And then you can kind of start working on like where you want to, like however you want to create your actual pony, then you will start working there. So what I've also done is I've taken some Marley hair from just the beauty supply store. I matched the color up as close as I could, and I used some Mazzani's Lived-In finishing spray. And I love this spray because it kind of dries it out a little bit. So because it's synthetic hair, we don't want it to look super shiny. And so what I've done is I've taken a brush, sprayed it, and I've backcombed it a little bit. But what I'm going to do is create a really cool silhouette, and then I am going to attach this to her head, and we're going to put some jewelry in, and then I'm going to do some more attaching of the extension hair.
That's so cool. Talk to me about some of the fall trends that you're seeing right now that you're just in love with.
So for me, I am a curly hair guy. So most of my client base in the salon, they love curly hair. That's kind of my niche. And they are transitioning into fall. So they want really good shapes, and they want amazing color, and they want to be able to wear their hair naturally curly. So for me, that's kind of what I've been seeing. I think even, in magazine and in print, I've also seen people actually really playing around with their natural curls. So I've actually really enjoyed it because I feel like it's finally time that people, want to play around with what they actually have, and not always being committed to either relaxers or blow drying. So that's kind of what I've seen, and I've actually been enjoying it. I've also seen a lot of braid work. Braids it seems that braiding, whether it's twisting, some type of intricate braid is always somewhere on the runway or somewhere in fashion. So I think that's a really good trend to follow also.
So do you feel like with your guests coming in the salon right now, you said you love curls, so I'm assuming a lot of your clients have natural curly hair. Yes. Are they looking for, now that it's transitioning seasons, are they partial to say, you know what, I had fun with the curl all summer, now I want the braids for fall, or are they vice versa, or what are you seeing right now?
So for me, most of them are enjoying their curls. They're loving their curls, but they want some type of transitional color, I would say. Okay. And it's so funny because for me, my clients are always like, oh, I want to go really, really light, when spring and summer comes, but then for whatever reason, fall comes and they're like, oh, I want a nice fall color. And fall colors to them are like poppers and reds, and, beautiful browns. And so I've done a lot of that, or just adding dimension, or maybe low lighting what they've already had. So it's been fun.
All Danielle, right. So I want to talk to you. Sorry, Nick. I can't resist. I see the progress that she's making, and so what I'm seeing is kind of like a common thread that I know that you guys are both going to get to, but I want to touch on it right now. Is you both talked about accessories, and I feel like what I've been seeing, and I want to get your guys' take on this individually, of course, but I'll start with Danielle. Is right now, accessories for me, it's like accessories. There can't be too many accessories right now. Are you feeling that same vibe when it comes to accessorizing? I noticed you were planning on using some.
Me and accessories. I have every accessory on this tray right now that I'm going to talk about. But what I do want to talk about before I talk about accessories is like, where do we accessorize it, right? So I'm focusing on, she's got, I wanted to play off of her center part. So she's got a nice, beautiful face, a nice center part. So I'm going to accessorize it right down the part line. But again, talking about control of this hair, you can see that this veil now, I'm starting to work into over the ponytail. And this way, my clients can pull this top veil out to get a little bit more volume. So because I followed the way that her hair falls, I'm very easily able to do that. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is that these rope twists, I saw this on Fashion Week and I saw this on the runway a good bit. And you guys all know that when I talk about texture, I'm always talking about how do you create texture without having to like get an iron out if they don't have texture in their hair, right? So I did 2-strand rope twist. The original ponytail that I secured back here, I divided in half And then I took those 2 halves and I did 2 rope twists from it. Then secured them with elastics, because elastics never fail you. And now I'm pulling these out. So when I take these 2 rope twists, because ropes are not braided, braids lay flat, ropes lay very cylinder. Ropes will give you volume and support. So I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna pull these ropes apart a little bit. And then when I get into it, I can actually take these 2 ropes or 2 cylinders and make a really nice chignon. So I secured this back section over first because I want that to tuck in. I'm going to twist these 2 ropes and then I'm going to take my side section, and that way I'll be able to actually wrap that hair around and hide everything. And then we're going to talk about the accessories and how we want to accent it without taking away from what's going on in the hair.
It's all about hiding all of those little things that we don't want to see, right? The twisted turns to hide all of the things holding it together. I love it. Jamal, talk to me about what you're doing there. I see that you got it nice and tight. Where are you going next in your style?
So I am now, since I have it nice and tight, I have some accessories here that is also connected to this, and I'm going to extend her pony with these cool little rings that I have. So I created some rings, and so basically what I did with the hair is I took it and back combed it, sprayed a little live-in texture finishing spray, and then I kind of molded it into just like a Afro puff, I would call it. And then I took some rings and I added rings together. And so what I'll do here is I'm going to add my ring here. So you want to make sure that you're grabbing some of her actual hair with the extension hair so that it's nice and sturdy. And now what I'm going to do is then attach, I'll attach this here. And so it's a really cool, like, I think I have one more, but basically what I'll do is attach the rings here, and then I'll go back into shaping, and I have another one to add here.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah, so it's funny because Jamal, when you first started, you're like the perfect pony, and I'm like, but he's doing a bun, and now I'm like, oh, he's the foundation of the foundation of the pony is the same, right? The way you created the pony is the same, and then you've now taken it to an elevated level, or it's actually relating perfectly with Danielle's, like, you're taking it to the runway, like, right? So, so it's cool because now you're creating that same silhouette of the ponytail, but like using accessories to create the illusion of like a faux ponytail. Same steps, same principles. Yeah. So I feel like that's the part that's interesting, and I'll let you elaborate on it. But as somebody at home, placing that high pony was like the same process, correct? Yeah.
So the same process as far as how you're placing it. Same 2 ponytails, making sure that the ponytail in the middle is centered or wherever you want it. And then you would take everything around it, with doing your directional blow drying. I love to use the comb attachment. It's easier for me, especially dealing with textured hair. So I use my comb attachment. I'm making sure that I blow everything in the direction that I want it to go in. And then I would secure the first pony, and then I'll secure the first one on top of it. So I love these little bungee cords are really, really good. This one, sorry, I don't. It's just a really good bungee cord, but for me, this is really cool to get a really, really good snatch pony. And basically it has like the bungee on each end, but what happens is you're able to hold it and then wrap it as tight as you can. And it's also super comfortable for the salon guests too.
For me, what I see a lot of is people feeling more free to use accessories more than ever. But then there is that part where it's almost like that rule of thumb. I don't remember if you guys were familiar, but it's like put all your accessories on, then to make sure you take one off, because then you'll be right on, just editing, right? The rule of thumb. But I think right now, because there's so many pictures, I see them all over our social media, and I'm glad it's a perfect timing to kind of transition to what Danielle's got going on over there, is like people are like they're really just taking very simplistic styles sometimes, or that look very simplistic, and then just adding an accent of a few accessories, but more so than ever before, right, Danielle? You feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, this is a perfect example. And I think to what Jamal was saying, it's where you put the accessory, right? It makes sense. Like, are you going to do a style that you do a style and then all of a sudden the accessory just goes in and it's like a fascinator. And you're like, why is that there? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. So, to my point is, I wrapped these sides around the chignon. And again, to break this down, I created the chignon, just like Jamal was talking about, in 2 steps. So it's very easy to control. And then I wrapped this hair around from both sides after I did the crown. The great thing is that because this is multiple sections, I can pull this and make it more airy if I want. Obviously, the accessory that I used is following the actual wrap around, and I can go in and edge this out, make it a little bit more airy, make it the style breathe, give her a little bit of texture on the face if I want. And that's the beauty of being able to manipulate the hair after we have it in the style. And when we put it up in sections, which I have to say a lot of people don't do, they don't break hair down. They just want to if they want to put it up, they want to put it all up in one fall swoop. Yeah. So, by breaking it down into sections, you have a lot more control and you have a lot more ease on how to create a little bit more of that airiness and that texture as you go in and expand this out. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of expanding it out. The accessory that I used is a headband. It's got 2 bobby pins on each end. And, again, to his point, I'm not just going to stick the headband on and let it hang down or do something weird that's not going with the flow of the hair. So, by going with the flow of this hair into the chignon and then following it up around, where that hair breaks at the top, I'm just going to take her off, but where that hair breaks at the top and is actually going back now from that part line, obviously that makes sense for that to sit there, and then into the chignon and wrapping around the chignon to just finish that off. It makes sense, it works, and it's complementing the style. So very pretty.
It's very beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
I love both these looks. Totally different, but totally cool. And that's what that's all about, right?
Yeah, Jamal, why don't you I feel like you take her off the stand and give her she needs an opportunity to swing that pony a little bit.
Take her off the stand.
But this is kind of what it would look like.
He's ready for the Met.
Yeah, I wanted to do something fun. I haven't been on set, and I haven't been able to really be as creative as I would like to. So I thought I would do something fun tonight. Really cool. But also, this is, you can play around with this. So even though it's the perfect pony, you can take some rings out. You can, you can wrap it. So it could look something like this, or it's so many different ways that you can kind of play with it. But, I just thought that this was a really cool way to kind of add some editorial fun to just a basic ponytail.
You know what's cool about that too? This is great for someone who has long hair envy, and maybe they have shorter hair that you could just get into a little nub of a pony. Yeah. And then you could build this style off of it so they can have a fun, long style for a night.
Yeah,
I loved watching also while Danielle was finishing up, and you guys are both doing the hairdressery finishing touches. We've all been locked. We've taken a break and we create just watching, and I love that we're all bantering at the same time. But he got out his scissors and he was edge trimming a little bit and everything, making those little bubbles, perfect little poof, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys. They look great. You guys both did an excellent job of giving us some great tips that were relevant for fall trends, but also taking us to a place that got exciting. I think that I feel a very strong common theme here with the accessories and making sure they're placing them and using them to your advantage. But just a very big thank you episode 1 of season 2, our first guest of this amazing season that's coming up. So just thank you guys so much for your expertise, your professionalism, and for sharing your knowledge with for everybody watching.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
So in season 2, we're doing something new where we're going to be spotlighting an artist on every single show. So Ammon, why don't we talk about who we have today?
Yeah, so very excited to be able to highlight and really showcase people within our ranks that we're very proud of, and really get an opportunity to celebrate them as ultabeauty people, as Jamal called us earlier, which I love so much. And so today we have Jason Rosario with us. So I wanted to welcome Jason to the show. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Jason, you're from Miami, right?
Yes, from Miami, Florida. Yeah.
All right. So tell us about like your role. How long have you been with ultabeauty? Like we know, I mean, Nick and I, because we know who you are. But like tell the audience like where you're from and like how long you've been working with ultabeauty.
Absolutely. So yeah, you hit it on the nail. From Miami, Florida. Been here all of my life. Grew up here. Service district educator. Been with ultabeauty, I will say on and off for 13 years, but I use that. I'm proud of that on and off because it really has given me the opportunity to kind of like just develop in my skills and really just kind of grow within ultabeauty. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to kind of be with the company, but also being able to go out and really understand like the importance of like culture and like just the morale and the vibe that I've been able to experience while I've been with ultabeauty.
That's awesome. Jason, so for those watching that doesn't know, like, what does a services district educator do? Why don't you tell them a little bit about your role?
Yeah, of course. So we're all things education. So we teach all the stylists that are in my district, obviously in my district, but within the company, to help them hone in the craft and to be able to just kind of perfect the skill just a little bit more and to get them just out of their comfort zone a little bit and also just to be able to show them new things that services they don't typically provide behind the chair. So yeah, just kind of, again, everything, all things education.
That's so great. And listen, I'm very proud of all the education. I've been watching you very closely. You are one heck of an educator. But I think one of the things that I also want to make sure that we talk about is that you work behind the chair. You're an educator, but you're taking guests behind the chair. And so specifically related to this show, I want to know what your guests behind the chair right now are asking for most when it comes to fall.
Absolutely. So I've been getting a lot lately of like, just depth, darker colors behind the chair because we are trending into fall season. So, I mean, as I scroll through Instagram every single day, it's like social media is like a whole nother like job as in its own, right? So as I scroll through social media every single day, I see a lot of blondes. We see a lot of beautiful blonde colors. But my guests now that we're getting into the fall season are starting to ask for those balayages that are more darker. So we're starting to ask for more browns, more caramels, more chocolates, those coppers, those reds that really pop. So yeah, I'm starting to hear a lot more of that, but also because we're in Miami, we don't really get the opportunity to wear a whole lot of fringe because of the heat and the humidity that we have here. Just bringing back some of that fringe for the holiday and for the fall, exciting because again, we don't get the opportunity to really wear that year round here. And so the curtain fringe, bringing back some of the curtain fringe and the side fringe. And so that's some of the styles that I'm super excited that my guests have been requesting lately.
All right, so speaking of guests, if someone is watching and wants to come get their hair done by you, where are you located? What store?
So I'm in the Kendallgate Shopping Center store that's down in Miami, Kendall, Florida, store 160 and representing. Super proud of that location. Super busy and super proud of that location, yeah.
Awesome, and if they want to find you on social media, where could they find you?
So it's at hairby_JJTime, JAYTIME.
I love it.
We'll slide that in there for you guys so you don't have to.
You don't have to memorize that.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for being on the show, buddy. Thank you for all you do, for being one of the Ulta people, and for your sharing your passion educationally and also with our guests that are coming every day. They need it more than ever. So thank you so much, buddy.
Yeah, and thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.
You as well. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a wrap for our first episode of Unveiling Beauty Season 2. Very cool. So we have a new little twist this season. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., you can go onto Instagram and check out, Ammon and I will be doing a live chat. And remember when we said earlier, you might get a giveaway? Well, if you paid any attention to the brush that Danielle was using, we're going to be giving that away tomorrow to one of these lucky viewers who've been asking a bunch of cool questions there. And Ammon and I are going to take some of these questions and we're going to answer them on our Instagram channels.
And then we'll also, I just want to let you guys know we are coming back at you. Next time, the next episode is going to be about keeping that color. So episode 2, season 2, coming up next, and that's a wrap for today, Nick.
I love it. Don't forget to follow us on Unveiling Beauty on Instagram, as well as on the YouTube channel here. We'll be back every single Monday with you. But until then, have a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.